It's all for you guys today. So, you all worked full time as busy physicians, you cared for patients, you carried call schedules, managed clinics, and somehow during all that time, you still managed to keep hopefully your mental well-being together, and you accomplished 2 years of advanced training in physical medicine and rehabilitation. So that's not just ordinary, that's also extraordinary, and we're here to celebrate you. So I just want to pause for a second and acknowledge what that really took. Late night studying after clinic and at the hospitals, weekends studying, trying to balance your family life, trying to balance your own personal health, balancing academic rigor, learning a whole new framework for thinking about function, about disability, recovery, dignity for our patients, because rehabilitation medicine is not just simple medicine. It asks you to think long term. And you all thought long term when you joined this program, and I'm really impressed by all of you. We measure goals not in inches, we measure goals in long-term outcomes, and today we celebrate each and every inch of the work that you've done. So, choosing this path is not simple. It means that you are believing that you help somebody survive, but that you also help them live. And that is what rehabilitation medicine is all about. And that says a whole bunch about you as physicians, and more importantly, it speaks to who you are as individuals. So on that note, I want to pass it over to our president, Andy Haig, and we will start things forward. Thank you, Miriam, for getting the slides together for us.
Hey, good
Andy?
morning, good afternoon, everybody. Wow, it's great to see a whole bunch of old faces and a bunch of you folks who've been in the program that we see every month. Um, I kind of was gonna go ramble on how this is a really big deal. Okay, I was gonna say, that you this organization started the WHO World Rehabilitation Alliance with other people, and the international societies looked at what we did and said, "This is top thing." All kinds of awards that we've gotten. A new bit of news is that we were just assigned from the United States government, of all people, a Fulbright fellowship. Okay, so it's kind of interesting when you look from the outside in. You see a lot of people saying this is really important thing to look at a whole continent and look at the cost to society and the suffering from disability. And then you get down to the board members who all have other jobs and other things to do, and Emmy and Miriam and Yuna and Tom and V and Abena all have their day jobs. This isn't their job, and they're really committed because they see how important this is in countries where they don't live, or beyond the country that they live in, for our two African board members, and they put a lot of work into it. Every month we have our meetings in between all kinds of communications, and and then you can look on and see some of the leaders in your countries who have done our fellowship and graduated. Sinfori and Mario, others, Abena herself, who graduated from the fellowship. And you can say, gosh, that's really a big, important thing. But then, like yesterday, I was in clinic, and every day you folks are seeing people who can't walk and giving them a way to get moving, or people who can't think as well as they should, whose lives and whose families are devastated by their problem. Ki kids who without you in another circumstance would be thrown to the wayside, literally thrown in the river in some places, who are going to have a chance to go off and become doctors in the future, right? And the real celebration here is that in addition to all this big grandiose stuff that all of you and all of we care about, every day you're showing up in clinic with more sophistication than you ever had, with a broader view of the needs of the people that we have. And I think that in addition to going, hey, I did it, you're going to be back in your clinic tomorrow and say, hey, I can do this better. And that's really what we're all about, despite all the big global changes that you're invoking. So I guess I want to celebrate you all for doing something so important to the continent of Africa. But then I want to kind of celebrate the fact that all of us, you and I and everybody on the screen, is going back home and doing a better job because you decided you'd put a couple of years into becoming more expert at what you're doing. So I guess I want to give congratulations to you all from both that global man, the world thinks your work is important, to the local person you're going to see tomorrow who's just a little grateful that their life is better. So, congratulations to our fellows. Nice work.
Thank you, Andy. So next we have Miriam, could you move forward, please? Thank you. Um, our keynote address today was going to be with Dr. Francis Tyrone, actually. We always messed up his name a little bit. We've certainly realized the University of Pretoria. He is unfortunately otherwise attending to something very important, but he has recorded something for us. Um, Miriam, did you want me to pull up that video or um,
And Francois hiding in the corner there too. He came,
yes.
which is wonderful.
So he has pre-recorded a little message for all of you, so we'll listen to that next. Volume, please.
Can you guys hear it okay?
We can't hear it at all.
Okay. I knew something wasn't doing right. Okay, let's try
It
it
it is a
again.
quiet recording, so
Share sound. Okay, I think.
Families, and most importantly, the graduating fellows of the International Rehabilitation Forum class of 2026. I suspect many of you are feeling two emotions today: pride at completing the fellowships, and perhaps a little relief that there are no more assignments due tomorrow morning, or exams to be completed, or logbooks to be handed in. That combination usually means you have completed something truly worthwhile. Although I regret that I cannot be with you in person today, it is truly an honor to join you in this way to celebrate your graduation. One of the advantages of a recorded message is that I cannot go terribly over time. Someone can simply press pause. But the disadvantage is that I cannot see the smiles, the relief, and perhaps the exhaustion of a group of professionals who have just completed 2 demanding years of fellowship training. So wherever you are watching this today, please know that I'm genuinely delighted to celebrate this milestone with you. Let me start with a small confession about the first time I realized that rehabilitation medicine was different. Early in my career, I was trained in a system where success in medicine often meant fixing something quickly. You operate, you prescribe, you discharge, and then you move on to the next patient. Then one day I attended my first proper multidisciplinary rehabilitation meeting. I remember sitting there slightly puzzled as physiotherapists, occupational therapists, psychologists, social workers, and nurses all contributed to the discussion about a single patient. The conversation went on and on and on. At one point, we were discussing wheelchair positioning, then bladder management, then community reintegration, and then whether the patient might be able to return to work. I remember thinking to myself, this is the longest ward round I have ever attended. But by the end of the discussion, something became very clear. Rehabilitation medicine is not about fixing a body part. It's about rebuilding a life, and that requires patience, it requires teamwork, and above all, leadership. And that is exactly what we celebrate today. Over the past two years, you have completed a rigorous and structured fellowship program through the International Rehabilitation Forum. You did this while working, while serving patients, often within healthcare systems that are stretched and under-resourced. You showed perseverance, you showed discipline, and perhaps most importantly, you showed endurance. As Angela Duckworth reminds us, enthusiasm is common, endurance is rare. You have demonstrated endurance, and endurance is the raw material of leadership. Your achievement today also reflects the vision and dedication of the International Rehabilitation Forum and the mentors who guided you through this journey. Programs like this fellowship are helping to build the next generation of rehabilitation leaders across Africa and around the world. Let me share a short story. Several years ago, I reviewed a patient with spinal cord injury. He had lost the ability to walk, but what struck me most was not his paralysis. It was the look in his eyes. There was a question there. What now? He did not need only surgery. He did not need only medication. He needed leadership. Leadership in rehabilitation, leadership in systems, leadership in hope. That leadership came from a trained multidisciplinary rehabilitation team. People who understood that restoring function is not a luxury. It is dignity, it is participation, it is human rights. And today, looking at you, the IRF Fellows of 2026, I see that same leadership. Across Africa, we face a profound burden of trauma, stroke, non-communicable disease, spinal cord injury, amputation, and disability. At the same time, there remains a shortage of trained rehabilitation professionals and structured rehabilitation systems. The World Health Organization's Rehabilitation 2030 initiative made one thing clear: rehabilitation is not optional, it is essential, which means something important for all of you. You are not simply graduates today. You are capacity builders. You are system architects. You are multipliers. The IRF Fellowship does not simply produce clinicians. It produces leaders. But let me pause for a moment and speak directly to you, the graduates. Wherever you are sitting right now, perhaps with colleagues, mentors, or family members who supported you through this journey, take a moment to recognize what you have achieved. Completing this fellowship requires discipline, perseverance, and a commitment to improving rehabilitation care in environments that are often far from easy. That achievement deserves to be recognized, and it deserves to be celebrated. If there are three things that I hope you carry forward from today, they are these. First, lead where you stand. Leadership is not a title, it is a posture. You do not need to wait to become the head of department to make a difference. Leadership begins in small places, in ward rounds, in multidisciplinary meetings, and in advocating for one patient who cannot advocate for themselves. As Nelson Mandela reminded us, it always seems impossible until it is done. In many African settings, establishing structured rehabilitation services will sometimes feel impossible. Start anyway. Lead where you stand. Second, remain relentlessly curious. The greatest threat to excellence is complacency. Medicine evolves, evidence evolves, systems evolve. The moment we think we know enough, we begin to fall behind. Albert Einstein once said, "I have no special talent. I am only passionately curious." Remain passionately curious. Read widely. Conduct research in African contexts. Share your experiences. Build knowledge that reflects the realities of the communities you serve. Africa does not simply need important models of rehabilitation. It needs innovation grounded in its own realities. And that innovation will come from you. Third, be ambassadors and multipliers. You are now ambassadors of the International Rehabilitation Forum. Represent excellence, but also multiply opportunity. Mentor younger colleagues. Support the next generation. Build networks across institutions and across countries. There is an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Across much of Africa, we also speak about Ubuntu, the idea that I am because we are. Rehabilitation medicine embodies this philosophy, perhaps better than any other field of medicine. No single professional restores a life. It is the physiotherapist helping the patient to take their first step again, the occupational therapist restoring independence, the nurse supporting daily care, the psychologist rebuilding confidence, and the physician helping to guide the journey. Together we restore not only function, but belonging. Let me return briefly to the patient I mentioned earlier. Months after his injury, he returned to clinic. He was not walking, but he was independent in transfers. He had regained control of his bladder. He had returned to work and he had begun mentoring others. When I asked him what had made the biggest difference, he did not mention surgery. He simply said, "You believed I still had a future." That is rehabilitation. It is about restoring function. It's about restoring dignity, but most importantly, it's about restoring possibility. So to the graduates of the International Rehabilitation Forum Fellowship Class of 2026, lead with courage, practice with compassion, remain relentlessly curious, and remember that every service you build, every colleague you mentor, and every patient whose life you help rebuild strengthens the future of rehabilitation across Africa. Africa needs your leadership. The profession believes in you, and today we celebrate not only what you have achieved, but the difference you will make. Thank you, and once again, congratulations to the IRF Fellowship Class of 2026.
So grateful that Dr. Tyrone was able to get a recording for us when he was busy with his other activities. Before we continue, we're going to move on to Eunice Sinsky, our fellowship director. She's going to give us a brief overview of the fellowship and add a few remarks of her own. Una?
Hello, everybody. My name is Eunice Sinsky, and I'm one of the fellowship directors for the Africa Fellowship Program at the IRF. First of all, so excited to be here, and congratulations, everyone, because it's truly an amazing accomplishment. So when the IRF Forum set out to establish the fellowship initially, it was Andy's vision, right? And then along with Abina's like superpowers together combined, and they were identifying a critical gap where the world needs rehabilitation. It is an absolute necessity. So they set off to create a 2-year fellowship program to create a way where rehab was lacking and transforming healthcare together as a physician. We have a 2-year program where it's a weekly live didactics for those who don't know, and we have international mentorship as well. So it's not just learning sitting down. Our fellows are actually fully board certified in their own countries, working in the clinics and practicing themselves. And in addition to that, striving to learn and build a new field on top. So it's very, very amazing what they're doing. And this program would really, really not exist without the tireless dedication of our faculty leads. So I really want to especially recognize our monthly topic leads who are currently joining us from around the world. This is actually the first year we implemented dedicated faculty leads to guide each topic area. And their leadership really has strengthened the structure of our curriculum like significantly, and has really enhanced the quality and consistency of all of our lectures. So faculty, thank you so much for making this possible. We would really not be able to run this program without your tireless efforts. And to our, yeah, yay. And to our graduates, right, unlike any traditional fellowship program, you were really completing all of this fellowship while you are sustaining your full-time practice responsibilities. And we all know that clinical days are already so demanding and tiring. So thank you for finding the time to attend lectures, engage in discussion, and just dedicate countless hours to like self-study. Your all the work doesn't go unnoticed, and absolutely your commitment to the field is extraordinary, really. This year actually remarks part is really, really meaningful to us for as a milestone for the program, because for the first time in our program history, 100% of the graduates passed the written board without needing to take the oral boards, and that is a huge accomplishment. That says a lot about not only our fellows, but also all of our faculty leads and also the board, right? Everybody who is mentoring is making a huge mark in improving our program. So thank you so much. So we all know firsthand how PM&R reduces mortality, increase independence, improve quality of life. We know all of those things. So fellows, as you move forward, that remember you are no longer students in the field, you are like truly ambassadors and pioneers. So we thank you, we salute you, and we also wish you guys all the best. Please continue to return back to teach the new fellows who are leading the next steps. And thank you for all your vigorous work. Congratulations.
Thank you, Yuna. So now comes the best part. We're going to recognize each of you by name. Although we're virtual, I really hope that as your name announced, you internally kind of take a moment to stand tall, smile, soak it in. You've really earned this. I just can't believe all that you've accomplished. So we're going to give you the celebration you deserve. Dr. Abina Tanner is going to call names.
Thank you very
Abina?
much, Emmy. I hope you can hear me. Okay. So I'm really excited today because I'm looking back at how we started with all this and now it's all structured, fancy. I didn't get this kind of graduation, but I'm so excited for all of you. Welcome to the alumni side of IRF. Just one thing before I mention the names, please know that you are, just as Yuna mentioned, an ambassador for IRF. PM&R is really lagging behind in Africa, and we really need to advocate for PM&R training in Africa. So just don't remain in your consulting rooms, in your clinics. Please go out there and let's advocate. Whichever conference you attend, meeting, if you meet any other African from any other country, please introduce them to IRF. Let's help train more PM&R physicians in Africa. So I will go on and introduce all the graduates, and I will start with next slide, Dr. Henry Adelia Carstens. And we all know that all our fellows are from South Africa. Her project title is Recording of Bowel Action in Patients with a Spinal Cord Injury. So Dr. Henry Adelia Carstens. And then, oh, please clap. It's not easy training. And then we have Dr. Donovan Clark, also from South Africa, project title, The Effects of Appropriate Rehabilitation and Early Return to Work on Absenteeism, a Narrative Review. Congratulations, Dr. Clark. Our third graduate is Dr. Lionel Faria de Gouveia. Please forgive me if I don't pronounce the name well. And his project title is Retrospective Case Series Review of 24 Inpatient Polysomnography Studies performed over 30 months in a physical rehab facility in KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. Congratulations, Dr. Lionel. And next we have Dr. Darian DeVet. Her project title is MDT Guidelines for Managing CVA in Rehabilitation. Congratulations, Dr. Darian. Next, we have Dr. Rondale Naidu. And her project title is Improving HIV Detection and Management in the Acute Inpatient Rehabilitation Setting in Durban. Congratulations, Dr. Naidu. And last but not the least, I will introduce Dr. Nicole Ann Sanders. and her project title is Investigation and Management of Osteoporosis in Fragility Fractures. Congratulations, Dr. Sanders. And once again, a huge, huge congratulations to everyone. I really understand the struggle. It has not been easy. You've done so well, and congratulations again. I will hand over. Thank you.
Thank you, Abina. So I believe next we're going on to awards presentations. Congratulations to all is a message down at the bottom here, guys. So our first award is our Changemaker Award. Miriam, are you presenting the awards?
No, I am.
Dr. Virginia Wilson. I am so very sorry. I'm trying to find my notes. So we're going to go over to Dr. V. Wilson, and she will present our awards.
I think the first award is for Dr. Chahata. Excellent in Teaching Award. I hope she is online.
Hi, yes, thank you so much.
Hi, Dr. Chahata, and welcome. You have been chosen for the Excellent in Teaching Award for 25-26 for exceptional teaching, voted by all the fellows as the most impactful and inspiring faculty. Just for everybody who doesn't know Dr. Chahata, she has a fellowship in spinal cord injury medicine from Hershey, Pennsylvania. And she's currently the attending physician, director of rehabilitation consultation services at St. Joseph's Wayne Medical Center in Wayne, New Jersey. She's also an assistant professor at the Hackensack Meridian School of Medicine. And here in South Africa, we would call you Prof. Chahata. So just so that you know, that's the way we think of you. I was looking through her extensive CV, and I did note that one of her presentations was the path to becoming a physiatrist. So she's obviously thought a lot about all the training everyone has to undergo to follow that path. And I'm delighted she's been able to offer her excellent skills to our program. Dr. Chahata, would you like to say a few words?
Sure, thank you so much. It's really such a unique pleasure for me and an honor for me to be here with you all. And this is really, I'm really humbled by this recognition. It's been a learning experience for me as well. I really enjoy working with you and sort of sharing the knowledge, but also learning from your experience, your input, the struggles that you might face or the challenges, and sort of working together. So congratulations to all of you. What an amazing accomplishment. And really excited to hear about what you're all doing in the future in your countries, and really thankful for this chance to be here together. So thank you again for this recognition, and thank you for the chance to work with you.
Thank you very much. We're delighted you were able to join us, and congratulations.
Thank you.
The next award is the 2026 Fellowship Impact Award. And this goes to Dr. Lionel de Gouveia, who has been chosen by his peers for exemplary leadership throughout the training to celebrate your dedication and significant impact on our community. I have a bit of a personal story here, because some years ago, our then hospital manager approached me and said, I have a nephew who's keen on learning about rehabilitation. Can he come and spend some time with you on your ward? And I said, of course he can. Lionel, I confess I can't remember what year that was, but it doesn't really matter. As they say, the rest is history. And I'm delighted, Lionel, that I have invited the person who encouraged you in the first place. So Lisette Vieira is listening to you. So talk nicely and explain how you feel.
Wow, thank you so much. Yeah, I do have a lot of special people today. So yeah, thank you for everybody at the IRF for the opportunity to join this thing. Such an exciting day, and congratulations to all my fellow colleagues for all of their graduation and all of their hard work. And I thought just to put my rehab journey into context, I would go back a bit in time. So I left university and ended up in 2015 for my community service in a district level hospital in the north of KZN, next to Mozambique, called Mangozi, because of all the mango trees. Otherwise, it's known as a UNESCO World Heritage Site called Cozy Bay, or the Elephant Coast. So in my 7 years there, I learned about deep rural socioeconomics. I learned about the complex and colorful cultural beliefs of the people of the area, cross-border related issues, malaria, TB, HIV, and got to learn about some rural equipment like the Rough Rider wheelchair and the Madiba buggy. I learned quite quickly that the macro-scale community there is upheld and glued together at Manguzi Hospital by the therapy department because of two formidable and well-respected ladies who are also able to join today. This is Miss Audrey Cronier and Miss Marika Bezadenhout. I'm so honored that they could be here today because they were right there at the start of it all. I'm so grateful for their guiding hands in all the earlier days of my clinical practice. So first, they taught me how to be a doctor. And then with a little bit of time, they taught me how to be a good doctor, especially because of treating patients over time. Their department has won numerous awards. It hosts the annual Gijima Paralympics athletics event for every disability. And really, my experience there taught me so much about rural rehabilitation. In my time there, I developed the skills of a true generalist, managing your day one of life baby to 101 years of life, all in the same core. And I was fortunate to have spent a lot of time in pediatrics and neonates. And I got the opportunity to deliver the babies and then nurse them and help the injured ones. And along the way, got to grow up with them. So I saw children that they said would never walk. They walked anyway. Um, Although we had an MDT register for ward rounds and things, sometimes the sunset with the hippos was a much better place to discuss complex patient problems. As Dr. V mentioned, I tried to find amongst the 7 years of humidity when I went to Joburg, and I couldn't figure it out. But amazing, thank you to my amazing aunt, Lizette, who got me both of my, she's basically been the one who's led the way into rehab. So when I got my first glimpse of Necare Auckland Park, it was a big shock seeing private rehab with a fancy prosthetics department that looks like a Hollywood set and seeing the Locomat in action. I had absolutely no idea that leaving the bush a few years later, I would be in lectures with the best of the world, conversing with rehab professionals and subspecialist therapists of every kind. When I then transitioned to private and came out of the rural setting, I started a house calls business, which was exactly sort of the same that they do in Manguzi, which was performing house visits to see the social determinants of disease. So it's been quite an interesting journey so far. And something I felt was after leaving Manguzi was that working in alone without a team just felt so inefficient. And so 3 years later, in my private capacity as my house calls, I also have on the call Sister Mary and a physiotherapist who have joined the practice. So we're taking rehab back into the home environment as well. Very soon thereafter, I started at Nurture in private inpatient rehab, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity to work in the setting every day. Every day is so different. The patients are different. I'm constantly learning about the complex ways a human body and a psyche can be injured by illness or other. After some time in the public space and now in some time in the private space, I find actually that the issues at hand are much the same. We are the same humans, we all get the same diseases and the same injuries. And the unfortunate paradox in South Africa is that private rehabilitation is quite competitive and state rehabilitation services are sparse and deteriorating. what I've come to realize in both the public and private domains is that there are equally sad moments and setbacks along the way in clinical practice. But those are sometimes matched by your micro gains that sometimes lead to return to function and adapted living. So despite the roller coaster of emotions and frustrations that I know we all go through on a daily basis all around the world, it is still a very exciting place to be in. So I thank the IRF for everything, but especially in our confidence. I feel a lot more confident in managing and talking about disorders of consciousness. I feel more confident in ventilator rehab, and my leadership and guidance skills that I provide now to the MDT are much more meaningful and much more comprehensive. I also now have learned the language of rehab and therapy, and can now almost get around the diagnosis of a cervico-brachial plexoradiculomyelopathy. I've been inspired by the of our lecturers, the analytical knowledge of the average physiatrist, which is not average, and I look forward now to every new examination. Thank you to Andy, whose knowledge of the peripheral nervous system is just unmatched. Thank you for your rhymes and your riddles. A very special thank you to Miriam, Emmy, and Yuna for all of their hard work behind the scenes. Thank you on behalf of all our classmates, for all of our lecturers, and everybody else I haven't mentioned. Thank you to my mother, who's also on the call, and my sister, who was on the call, who's also my practice manager. I used to say that I never wanted to be a specialist, but I guess I changed my mind. And so to close, I wanted to mention something that Dr. Robert Campbell told me once in my early days. He said, you know, Lionel, sometimes in rehab, we practice the medicine of persistence. And that is in my head all the time, on my ward rounds, in my clinics, etc. So thank you all so much, and have a lovely day.
Thank you so much, Lionel, for a very heartfelt speech. Much, much appreciated, and congratulations again. There is another award, just waiting for the slide to change. Here we go. So we have what's called a Change Maker Award for 25-26. And this goes to Vaishali Padayachi in recognition of her outstanding leadership, her visionary efforts, and active advocacy, which have enriched the fellowship and the field of PM&R. Vaishali, let me explain a little bit. She has, firstly, a lot of qualifications. She's extraordinary. She has a basic MBBS, a diploma in child health, a master's of philosophy in surgery, which puzzled me a little bit, but let's move on. She has a postgraduate diploma in palliative medicine, and she's a lecturer at the University of Pretoria. Vaishali not only did the fellowship, but she, with Dr. Francois Theron, quietly in the background over the last year or so, has been working with very important academics and senates at the University of Pretoria to try and get an MSc in physical and rehab medicine acknowledged and accepted. We don't yet know the answer. We're hanging on the last thread, but I know that with Vaishali and Francois' efforts, that this is going to be successful. And quite honestly, this is an enormous step forward. Vaishali, over to you.
Wow, thank you. I'm actually speechless. Yeah, thank you so much. First of all, thank you so much. I think I have to first start saying thank you to Anri, because she's the first one who introduced me to this fellowship through UV, who then pushed me to register. And it was pretty much the last minute decision to register for this fellowship. And I think it's the best thing that happened to me. It basically just formalized everything that I've been doing here at Swanee Rehabilitation Hospital and at the university. Yes, I think I've been involved in a lot of things trying to get physical medicine and rehabilitation recognized. The biggest problem was a lot of people thought it's a drug rehab. What do you exactly do? It's been a lot of work, but it's been lots of fun. I must say, it's something that I'm really passionate about. And so I don't feel it's effort. We just do it the way it comes to me. Like V said, along with Francois, we are busy with the university. We have gone quite far. There's still quite a bit more to do. And fingers crossed, I hope we do get our degree. Yeah, as soon as possible, hopefully early next year or maybe the year after that. But thank you, everyone. Thank you, Andy, for coming to visit our little, state center here in South Africa, and to Tom as well, who came down. Thank you so much for encouraging us and supporting me. Thank you, V, for all your support. You've really been the backbone, like asking you stuff. And I've been sending Francois and V documents all of a sudden because I get it all of a sudden and I have to get these done and handed in to the university. Thank you so much for all your support, and congratulations to all the fellows. We hope we can get this going at the university level and locally have this as a qualification that all of you can register for formally. And so the fellows, please be ready to be part of the teaching group and the team. And also to the international faculty members, thank you so much. We also need you all the way through to ensure we achieve appropriate quality in the teaching we provide here. And we look forward to that collaboration further all the way through. And thank you so much for the recognition. I'm really humbled. I didn't quite expect it. Thank you. Thanks.
Congratulations again, Vaishali. We're really proud of you. The next award is for the best thesis. And as you can see, it goes to Dr. Nikki Snyders. And her thesis was the investigation and management of osteoporosis in fragility fractures. Nikki, I hope you're online and can respond in a moment. We all know that, oh, she's on the road. That's okay. We all know that partaking in and participating in and studying for this fellowship is hard work. And as I always say to everybody, life happens. Babies, children, illness, whatever, life happens. And I know Nikki juggles a lot of balls. So Nikki, I really think this is a terrific award for you, and well done. And it points to the right direction for your future MSc. Are you able to say a few words, Nikki? Oh, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can.
Okay. Yeah, we're on our way to visit my parents-in-law, but yeah, thank you so much. I wasn't expecting this, but I just wanted to say thank you for everyone who's been a mentor and a teacher. I've found this such an amazing course. I think it's been work, but it's also been so enjoyable to learn more about the field that I'm working in. And yeah, to discover a whole field that you didn't actually know as a South African was a thing. And I think the mentors and teachers have been just so gracious and kind with their time. And I know that in America, it's often waking up at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. And I've just really appreciated that, everyone who's put this fellowship together. So yeah, I just want to say thank you. And yeah, my thesis, I really feel passionate about management of osteoporotic fractures and how there's a huge gap there that, yeah, we see people coming with a hip fracture and they don't get treatment, and we see them again in a few months' time with the other hip being fractured. So, yeah, but I just thank you so much, and I really appreciate everyone who's given so much time and effort to this fellowship.
Thank you, Nikki, and congratulations again. Well done, and travel safely. Enjoy your rest.
Thank you.
Okay. So the final award is for the person who achieved the highest score on the final exam. So this is a fantastic, outstanding academic achievement and exceptional dedication to learning. So Dr. Donovan Clark, please join us now and tell us how you did it. How did you manage your time to achieve this? That's really, I think, what we want to know.
Yeah, thank you very much, V. I think it was a bit of luck involved also, so I can't take all the credit. Wasn't expecting it, but once again, good morning and good afternoon to everyone, wherever everyone's joining from today. So while might not be sharing the same physical space, it remains a privilege to come together to mark this moment and celebrate all the fellows and the hard work of the faculty for what we've achieved together. Although I'll be talking about my experience over the past 2 years, I'm certain many of us share the similar sentiments. So as I reflected on the final exam, directly after and after hearing about the award, also I can assure you, I still don't feel it was any easy task. I think we can all agree to that. But I often found some comfort during the exam and knowing a multiple choice format that the correct answer must be there. I must just look at it and figure it out for myself. So yeah, very grateful for that. It's a true honor to receive this award. I'm deeply grateful for the opportunity to reflect on the journey, what we've shared. And I think for the past 2 years, we've all balanced full-time clinical work with the requirements of the RF fellowship and required careful, creative time management, attending to lectures while being called away to emergencies and inpatient wards, managing urgent clinical responsibilities, and keeping up with all the admin that seems to never end, especially in our setting in a private rehabilitation. Some moments were particularly challenging. I think towards the end of our lectures and just touching again on EMGs, I vividly remember an instance of being called out to the ward during one of Andy's EMG sessions where I was really invested into it and hoping to fully understand it by the end. But I returned to the same lecture feeling as though I was listening to an entirely new language. We were always encouraged during these lectures by Andy to answer and keep on thinking. Yet even then, Andy generously accepted the letter X as an occasional answer. And that rescued me a lot from potential hazardous attempts at providing answers and having to explain them afterwards. So I'm also grateful for that little loophole. Although this is officially a part-time fellowship, we know that part-time in medicine, it's a relative concept. It meant finishing clinical duties, being on call, attending virtual lectures from cars or offices, and reviewing gait analysis videos over keyboards during lunch breaks. And yet the whole faculty and everyone that's involved always showed up for us. So this fellowship has reignited a renewed interest in physical rehab in South Africa, especially, I believe, and across Africa, as we've heard from everyone else. In South Africa, exposure to rehab remains very much limited. Many medical students receiving only a few short lectures during the entire undergraduate studies. And it's encouraging to know that there's work being done by Vashali and Fransha and V to change that for the future. My own journey into rehabilitation medicine began with some hesitation. I was also not aware of initially what to expect and how the road would go. And as I initially thought it would be a 2-year plan, figuring out what the future might hold in, it has now already grown into nearly a decade of committed work within this field. Through this fellowship, we've gained a broader understanding of global landscape of PM&R, particularly the well-established scope of practice demonstrated by our American colleagues. And while it's not yet formally recognized as a specialty in South Africa, we are fortunate to have these dedicated leaders working steadily towards that goal. As we know from rehabilitation itself, meaningful progress often comes in small, deliberate steps. One of the greatest gifts of this program was been learning the true meaning of caring for the whole person. We shared and explored spinal cord injuries, traumatic brain injuries, stroke recovery, musculoskeletal medicine, and many other complex systems. During this rehab process, we are often involved in what could be the most difficult time in the lives of our patients and their loved ones. We celebrate with them as they achieve milestones that may seem small to others, but monumental to them, gripping a fork independently, standing for the first time, taking those first initial unaided steps. And it's that resilience that inspires us also as clinicians. Completing this fellowship has highlighted our own resilience and commitment as healthcare professionals. If our patients can dedicate hours each day to regain fractions of mobility, strength, and independence, then surely we can dedicate some of our time to studying and, yes, even redrawing the brachial plexus more times than we care to admit. Still working on that a bit though. I'm deeply grateful to the IRF for making this fellowship accessible to clinicians across Africa. Your commitment, expertise, and flexibility across all the time zones have made this program possible. Thank you to Andy, Emmy, Tom, Miriam, Yuna, and all the contributors working tirelessly behind the scenes. Locally, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to V for alerting me and providing me with the opportunity to be part of this fellowship. I look forward to contributing to the SRPRM and strengthening the recognition and development of rehab medicine within South Africa. To every supervisor, mentor, lecturer, and colleague who supported us through this journey, thank you. Your guidance and encouragement and belief in us made this possible. And to my fellow graduates, congratulations. This achievement reflects not only academic success, but perseverance, adaptability, and a commitment to patient-centered care. So we leave this fellowship not only with certificates, but with a renewed sense of purpose to help our patients move from simply surviving to truly living. We have completed our marathon. Now let's help our patients on theirs. Continue collaborating with your interdisciplinary teams, advocate for our field, contribute to research, and remain curious, reflective, and committed as lifelong learners. Thank you, and once again, congratulations to everyone.
Thank you so much, Donovan. And my request to you is just keep spreading the word as widely and as far as you can, please. And many congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, I think we are almost finished. And I would really like everybody to just please turn on your camera and maybe we can take a moment to really look at everybody in this screen here. I know we're like separated by like thousands of kilometers and really many different time zones. I think like at least 4 or 5 time zones that I know that we're all joining from. And I'm looking at faces that I haven't seen before. And, I know we have like over 40 people joined us today. If you can use the chat box to let us know where you're joining from, especially if you are new to this Zoom room. This is the room where all the fellows have been, joining every week. But if this is new, please tell us where you're coming from. And, alumni, if you're just, if you're joined, from far, please tell us. And Andy, Middlebury, Vermont. Yeah. And I'm joining from here, South Korea. Um, yeah, just use the chat box to tell us. And really, we are really gathered here in this room because I think even though we're joining from different locations, because of the powerful purpose, which is to make sure that rehab medicine is available and practiced where it is needed the most in Africa. So, yeah, we Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, South Africa, Wisconsin, USA, Kumasi, Ghana. So all these different places, all for the same passion we have for rehab medicine. Lily from Ethiopia, we're seeing, Johannesburg. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. So recently we looked at some of like what our fellowship is really about. We asked our fellows and alumni about, some questions, and the results were truly, truly remarkable. And I think many of you will still relate to them as well. So 86% of past fellows said this program really directly prepare them for leadership roles. And I think many of fellows who have given their reflections earlier today has really confirmed that. And nearly 60% reported significant career growth because of what they've learned through fellowship. And half of the participants also said they used the skills gained from this fellowship every day or several times each week in their clinical work. And this is, this is more important. 100%, everybody, 100% agreed that the fellowship strengthened their commitment to advocate for the rehabilitation practices for their patients. 100%. Everybody who participated here, they're advocating for PNMR for their patients. So every day they're advocating. So I believe this is how real system changes really happens. This is how it begins through the knowledge, the leadership, and the advocacy. And truly, this is the success of everybody here. And I want to really congratulate everybody, the fellows, the volunteers, the faculty, and the family, all the friends of the IRF. Thank you all. And especially to our volunteer lecturers and the topic faculty and our board members. Thank you for your tireless dedication. And you all know some of us are joining like at 6 a.m. or sometimes 4 a.m., 5 a.m., depending on where you are. So thank you. Thank you for sharing your expertise. Thank you for reeling in your rehab village to share their expertise, all because you believe in this mission. So, thank you all. You really all have helped bring this uh, being the backbone of this program. So thank you. Thank you so much. And to alumni, I see Simforan here, Abena here. Thank you, alumni, for continuing to build this community and really showing, you know, our graduates what can be possible. So thank you. And many of you have already taken great leadership beyond the fellowship itself. And you're now mentors, you're now the leaders, you're the PRM teachers, and you are the community that really welcomes every year, welcomes the new graduates. So thank you. Thank you, the alumni. And I really wanted to also hear from this cohort and everybody actually joined here today, the current fellows as well. And I wanted to share the this link here. I'm sharing the link in the chat box. And if you guys can share the answers to the question that are on here, which is what is one action you will take to advance the physical and rehabilitation medicine in your country? Are you guys all able to see? Let me share the screen here. Let's see. Okay. Are you guys I'm starting to share the screen. And if you have your phone with you, maybe you can scan the QR code if you don't have access to the chat box. You can scan the QR code on the share screen to answer this. So I'm seeing listening to future leaders, persistence, educate colleagues. Wow, look at these words appearing. So the question was, what is one action you will take to strengthen the PNMR practice in your country? Advocate, information, educate other specialists, yes, advocate, inspire others. Wow, a lot of advocate word there. Education. So I'm seeing some patterns here. Advocate, education, teaching, advocacy, educate, social media, training, share success stories, which is also part of advocacy, right? Thank you guys for really all putting these commitments. Wow. promote evidence, lead, training, teaching. So these are what we are collectively committing to advancing PNMR practice. And you know what? I'm actually going to capture this. I'm gonna capture these screenshots right here. And I'll share, continue uploading your thoughts here. I'll share this commitment with you. I'll, share it back with you as a reminder of what we have really set out to achieve and what we are going outside of our bubble to make this continue to be successful and advance the field that we're in. So to our newest graduates, please remember you're now the pioneers and the champions for this field in your country and globally. Really the champions for making patients' life worth living. Um, so it's not just about the survival, but the life that's worth living. So thank you guys all for championing this. Um, and again, your leadership is continue to be needed. Your voice matters. And the future of PNMR in your countries really will be shaped by what you do next outside fellowship. So let's continue to build this together, this work together. So thank you guys, everybody, and congratulations, everybody. And before we really wrap things up,
Hey,
I'm
photo
gonna,
time.
yeah, I'm gonna quickly take group shots. Let me just stop sharing.
While
And
you're
if you
getting
guys
ready
can
for the
all,
photos, may I say something?
yeah,
Your comments really made me think that we always look back on history, but you don't always realize when you are creating it. And years from now, people are going to look back at this generation and know that this is the generation that really moved rehabilitation forward across Africa. The graduates, the current students, our past graduates who are on, this is the future. And whether you know it or not, you signed up to be history makers. So very impressed. Huh?
yay.
And for those that can't see
Right.
the chat,
So
Symphorian, one of
everybody,
our first graduates, says congratulations to the fellows, IRF team and faculty. Thank you, Symphorian.
thanks, Symphorian.
Thanks,
Okay,
Symphorian.
everybody now turn on your camera and smile. Now I'm gonna screenshot 1, 2, 3, and then we have like multiple pages because we have like 40 people join us today. So second page, everybody smile 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Let's see, I'm seeing more chats here. Oh, okay. Symphorian, thank you. And then I have one final announcement. We're almost at the end. So IRF alumni Francois Terran has created the monthly journal club, which is led by just you guys, the alumni. And so the goal of this journal club is to keep our fellows and the alumni connected on the academic level, and also to build like a strong community for advocating PNMR as things are changing in your country and how the field is growing in across Africa. So I'm going to be, after the graduation, I'm going to be sharing the link about this journal club. And if you, maybe some of you already know, but I'll share this link with you. And I hope everybody can join this journal club even after the fellowship. And you can still join this network and we can still engage here together. So that's coming up. And yeah, that's my final note for today, announcement. And thank you, everybody, for joining from all over the world. Thanks and
Congrats,
congratulations.
everybody. Proud of you.
Yeah, I think that's
Fantastic.
Very proud.
Now we need sound clapping.
Yeah.
woo!
Congratulations,
Woo!
everyone. So,
And we
Perfect.
hope you all return to us. Don't just
Yes.
disappear.
Yes.
ah,
Not
yes. Ah, yes. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure Yuna will track everybody down and make sure that everybody return to teach.
Yes, we will find
Right?
you.
Yeah. All right. So this is everything that we've prepared for this momentous, this wonderful event today. Thank you all for joining. And we look forward to hearing everybody's journey next year about this time. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay,
Congrats, everybody.
congratulations, everyone.
Thank you,
Fantastic.
Miriam.
Had a great job.
Thank you,
Yes, thank you,
everybody.
Miriam. Thanks for organizing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Well done. Well done.
Ciao, ciao.
Well done.